one thing I kind of stumbled upon, and I'm surprised I never really realized because it was always there the whole time. Like, you see in the upper right where you got settings for, like, Eleanor to rearrange your party members. You either go into details, and then you go into details again to see their specific synergy. This is all... Oh yeah, and you can go in one more time to see their equipment setup. Kinda neat that they actually see the elemental property of the weapon here. I think I forgot about that detail. I'm pretty sure most hardcore Golden Sun people know all this already, but it's something to go back over for more casual people, because I know it's between that and I've watched a lot of blind playthroughs of Golden Sun, so I know quite a few patterns of how people go about this game the first time they play, and like class arrangement, and a lot of new players don't exactly mess around with class arrangement unless they're poked by chat. And I feel like a lot of people don't realize like the fact the shoulder buttons do stuff, all these extra details in the stats menu, and this is a very long tangent to say I completely forgot that you can actually like see your entire Djinn lineup, regardless on what Djinns are on what party members, if you press select on this details screen. Kind of a neat detail to keep in mind if you just don't want to like mess around going for all your Djinns trying to figure out who has what where. And speaking of, I'm tempted to swap back around. You know, while we're being super experimental, why not just have Mars, Janice, and Mia, just so everyone has something a little different. I'll probably go back to something a little more comfortable and familiar with me soon enough. But for right now, I want to mess around with something. Alright. So, like, there hasn't been a lot of map customization. There is not, I should emphasize, map customization tools with Golden Sun 1. So, you may notice with Dawn of Djinn, as well as any other Golden Sun mod that you play, that the overworld, the areas that you go through themselves, and the puzzles you solve in the process, aren't exactly that different from vanilla Golden Sun. It'd be cool if we could mess around with that stuff, but that tech is just not there. I hear that not the editor that I use, but a more new editor messes around with that a little bit for the sequel, The Lost Age. I haven't messed around with it enough to actually know how it works, if it works. And even then, I'm pretty sure it's still a little bit limited. That's kind of why I, like, juggle myself between, oh, you know, I'm gonna interrupt that thought because it's essentially a mini-boss in this. Like, I'm really trying to make up for the fact that they appear as late-game enemies. When I was talking about the Thieves and the Bandits, I was struggling to try to find a balance between making it work as a mini-boss enemy while still being acceptable as a enemy that can appear in the overworld. That's kind of what I did with the Deadly Ape. Like, they aren't that much stronger. They don't have that much more health than their original Golden Sun counterparts, but oh man, are they a lot stronger. They have a lot more attack. But on the bright side, they don't appear as regular enemies as soon as you get out of here. They get saved for a more appropriate area. At least stats-wise, more appropriate. A little bit of spoilers, but I figured I'd bring it up right away that, like, I probably should have done something like that they did with the apes for the Thieves and the Bandits, where, like, it can be super strong for a boss. Oh, and I've been playing so much Reloaded, I completely forgot about spread Ginny attacks. Man, that's certainly nice to see again. I will get all the mileage out of it that I can. And I was gonna, on the tangent, I was gonna make a joke that I was playing some Lost Age Reloaded before doing the stream and decided that I needed a little break from all that and play something a little easier, joke being Dawn of Djinn being easier than Reloaded, despite the fact Reloaded's been out for a while. I have no regrets though. Like, granted, I was playing playing the Reloaded version of the sequel, and it just seems that the sequel overall is significantly more brutal than the original Golden Sun. It's been so long since I've actually played Lost Age proper that I don't know. I remember that even back then, vanilla breaks gave me trouble every now and then. So yeah, I would believe it. I would believe that vanilla Lost Age is significantly harder than regular Golden Sun. Half of that is because Lost Age actually has a default hard mode though, so I go back and forth, which maybe some of those memories are actually from playing in hard mode bricks, because I feel like even before I got into modding, like once I played with hard mode, or once I unlocked hard mode for Lost Age, majority of all my playthroughs have been of that. Like the last full playthrough I've done of Lost Age was my LP of Lost Age, and that was like several years ago at this point. So, just to say, a lot of time has passed. And what was I going to talk about? There was something I was going to talk about before I got sidetracked by that. I know that, like, with catching aside though, yeah, last thing I remember talking about was with the... So yeah, on the tangent of the apes, they're significantly harder, but I try to balance them in a way that they would also work as enemies on the regular field, and not be like in vanilla Golden Sun where they just appear as regular enemies right after this dungeon, and it feels incredibly out of place, or like a difficulty. It gives it an unnecessary difficulty level as a result. I tried to avoid that by just making the apes an enemy a bit later on than in the vanilla Golden Sun. That's what I was trying to say, long story short. Yeah, I really should find someone else to have the Jupiter Jinnies, because, like, side pass alone kind of... Well, I just realized how much more synergy points Garrett gets from the other party members just from being in a class of Jupiter Jinnies. So I guess side pass still gets some use after all. I do kind of miss having Mia as one of my healers, though. We'll just see how things pan out, I suppose. Anyways, all that said, Force is still just as unnecessary as it is in vanilla Golden Sun, but I especially want to make sure I pick up Force in some shape or form, because there is something in these woods that I want to make 110% sure that I don't forget along the way. Just unequip my controller altogether. Nice. That's a very well implemented use of Seep, if I say so myself. Let's see if I get just as much mileage out of Shiver. Not quite. I should be a little more conservative with Ivan just because of his synergy's getting a bit low. I guess this is like part of the reason why I don't find the Hermes Water to be overpowered, because I never actually use it for dungeons. I never actually use it for in battle. I just use it as a convenient... I personally just always end up using it as a convenient way to recover my synergy outside of battle without running around in circles. Speaking of which, for the sake of balancing, I did, like, sell one of my Hermes Water. But I might just go back and rebuy the bottle and all, if I keep running out synergy points this quickly. Speaking of which, probably should use this apple because it's just gonna take up inventory otherwise. I've been using I6 for attacking a bit, especially like the physical synergy. So I think I'll focus on him. Garrett seems pretty good at attack already, even though he has like a more unorthodox class situation. Oh yeah, side pass. I gotta remember that's also an option that I could go for. Wait, where's Ply? Oh, it'll probably come back once this Ginny recovers. I always forget that for the Swordsman class, you have to have 2 Ginnies before you actually start getting the healing abilities, which, I mean, fair. That was the thing even in Vanilla Golden Sun, and I kinda get why, the more I think about it. Alright. Is it already time for not quartz? It seems like it's already time for not quartz. But first, more appropriate, it feels like time to actually abuse a single enemy being by himself. If anything, that'll just put off using my side path, using my Hermes water just a tiny bit longer. I'm pretty sure the Ginny's still here. Oh, I hate this setup in particular. Like, maybe I toned them down a bit in testing. Oh, that's nerve skill. But the bone fighters, all in particular, always seem to stump me. I guess I'm not having as bad of a time with them because I'm just simply going all out with my synergies and not really holding back too often. I think that's been helpful. But I always noticed, from my playtesting at least, they did a significant amount of damage, and like it was like to the point where I was actually finding myself wiping. Now, maybe I didn't wipe, but I actually had party members die to these guys in the past. They don't seem as tough as they were before though, so that might have just been an early beta thing that I fixed over the course of playtests and all. It doesn't hurt, I can just get back after the battle end. But what am I doing? I've been holding on to this summon and not even using it? Well, good time as any to alleviate that. Well, there's no way that they're surviving the... They may have survived one summon, but there's no way they're surviving the onslaught of 2 more summons. I mean, especially the skeleton, but I'm kind of surprised that even the bone fighter is still holding on. There we go. Unfortunately, it does mean I have to run around in circles a little bit before I fight not quartz. But that is something I'm willing to deal with.